Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Min and High Podcast, episode 2. I am your host, kind of, one of two.
Three for tonight.
Yeah, this is our
all
guest,
of us are hosts today.
I guess,
The Holy Trinity.
unholy trinity. This is our guest, Eli,
Hello?
last name withheld.
Yep.
What's the SpongeBob quote that's like, name and address withheld? I think of that all the time. All right, so we'll get started with the first topic. What we've been doing the last, few weeks, I guess, or month, whatever you want to, really whatever you've been doing recently. So I guess I'll start. Let's see. I just watched The Martian with Matt Damon. I don't know why I said his name like that.
Matthew Damon?
Matthew. I don't know the longer form of
Is his
Damon,
actual
but
name Matthew?
I don't know. Brad Pitt too. Can we just call him that? It was pretty good. I know some people don't like it, but I do. So there. I'm also still playing Earthbound. It's a long game, but it's fun.
You've been enjoying that a lot more than I thought you would, honestly.
Yes, I have been enjoying it. The music is great. That's like the biggest standout. I've also been slogging my way through Twilight Princess. That game is long and boring.
How
and it
far?
sucks.
How far are you in it? You know, you're like 16 hours and you just got done with like.
I just got to the Mirror of Twilight and it brokey.
Mirror Charlie Brokey, don't play Fortnite.
And Midna's all just like, wham, 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 I'm a baby. I hate her. Anyway.
Oh no, you hate Midnight.
What about you people? What have you been doing? Let's start. Yeah, let's go to our guest.
Okay. Unless you want to, the regular co-host wants to say what he's been doing.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. I'll go. I'm not a gamer, so I have not been playing games.
Loser.
I've been working, like an actual member of society.
Me too.
Me for
2 hours per week. Like,
you say 2 hours per week?
Yeah, it's a joke.
Oh, okay. Because I've been working 3, so I mean.
I've been working like half.
Half hour per
My shift at McDonald's.
I just realized if I actually worked a half hour per week at my job, it would take longer round trip to drive there. And I would actually be working.
Okay, what I've been doing. Besides working, I've been reading a good book called Butcher's Crossing. It's a nice little western about people venturing out to the west and getting buffalo hides. Very nice.
Really regular book.
Sounds like a book I would have read in high school for required reading.
It feels that way, yeah.
It was like I read like
it.
halfway through Dancing with Wolves, and I'm just like, this is the most I'll read this in high school book ever besides Shakespeare. It's
Yeah.
boring.
I'll say this book that I'm reading, Butcher's Crossing, is going to be turned into a movie. You know who's going to star in it? Nicolas Cage.
I was gonna say Matt
I was
Damon.
gonna say Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt voices everyone.
Chris Pratt voices the buffalo.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it was like a weird moment in my life where I would like in 8th grade. All I would do is read books. Like I would read books more than I would go on my phone. And, like I know, weird, right?
Shocking.
But like it was because like my language arts class, it just had this little mini library in it, and you could just pick out books whenever you want, no hassle. And so, that's when I read a lot, and like I don't know, it was just like it was really fun, and like I would have conversations with my teacher and all that. And that's when I reread The City of Ember for the first time since I was in like 4th grade. That was really interesting. It was one of those books where you're just like, why did I like this? 'Cause I was like obsessed with the series when I was like in 4th grade, and then I'm just like, why did I even like it?
Any favorite books that you have?
I don't read a lot, not because like it's boring. It's just like reading doesn't like I don't know impact me as much or watching movies like I don't know. I just have a lower attention span, and I get tired after reading too. Like it just feel tired for the rest of the day. But If I were
It takes up so much energy to look at paper.
It does
my
sometimes.
gamer
No,
brain
I get
can't.
that too, because like when I used to read, it would be like I would read for like I would binge read, and then I'd just sit there, and my eyes would be all like fuzzy, and I'd be losing focus. My brain would just be thinking about like other things, like it'd be absent-minded, and
You
I'm just
read like a paragraph and you have to reread it.
yeah, I got when I would get to that point, I'd be like, I think it's time for bed.
Off the top of my head, my favorite books, like I love the Maze Runner. Like I'm gonna be naming generic books, by the way. Like I mean, I don't really go out of my way to read like a weird book,
What
but
are you, a normie?
yes, I am a norm. I guess I would you call me a book normie or whatever you'd call those.
I think it's just a nerd book.
I guess so, but like, I mean,
Actually,
I
I'm a
think
geek.
one of my favorites. Actually, I think one of my favorites is the Boys Who Challenged Hitler. Um, Instead of being like because like at one point I was just so sick of like Nazi books and like all these authors like capitalizing on like the Nazi like story and all that. I just got so sick of it. And then I read this one, The Boys Who Challenged Hitler, like I can't remember much. It was like years ago since I read it, but like it was like these like kids. I'm not even gonna try to say where they were from because I know I'm gonna mess it up. So I know they were like not in America. I can say that, but like they, like Nazis, took over their like town and stuff, and like they're like, you know what? Instead of just like letting it happen, we're gonna fight back. And so they were actually like sabotaging like Nazi like tanks and trucks and like stealing their ammunition, like completely wrecking their offices, like all true stuff. And like they show like real photographs and stuff like that. And it was just like, holy crud! Like why aren't they talking about stuff like this that happened in World War II? Like this is so much more interesting. But that one stuck out a lot to me.
That sounds pretty sick.
It's super sick and like it starts out as just like a little tiny group, like 3 or 4 kids, and it just grows into like 10 kids, and they eventually get caught, I think. But like nothing bad happens. I don't think. I know, like I think one gets like really hurt. Like well, in one of the things they did, they literally like I think they blow up like a Nazi truck. Like they literally like sabotage it to where it blows up, and then they like go to like this office, like the like this Nazi office where like make calls and stuff, and like they just go into completely trash the place. I mean, they take like photos of Hitler and just like smash it on the ground. They're like wrecking this place up, and just like you can just imagine it, and like I think just like a picture of like what the aftermath was, and just like holy crud, it was just like really eye opening. I don't know. I think like they should make books about like World War II, like that stuff. And it's always truths too, like all based on a true story. And it
Was
was
it
like
like straightforward, like telling you the facts, or was it like a
it
story and then they provide like pictures for the context?
like I think it took like I don't want to get this wrong. I'm sorry if I'm getting these wrong, guys. For people who actually like this book, it's just been so long, but from what I can remember, it took place in like different perspectives. So like you got like the perspective like the kid who started it, and then like the other kids who like joined in, and like you get those perspectives, and then you would have like the pictures and like a description underneath saying like what it was. So that's kind of how the book was structured out. But I honestly think that's gotta be one of my favorite books. Um, I think okay, this is gonna be like, oh my god, this is gonna be so different from my other favorite book, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the first one specifically. I don't know why, like when I read that in elementary school, it was just like the most relatable stuff you could ever read in a book, and it just it was so much more different than all the books they forced you to read, and it was like it actually was like like it like treated you like you were like an actual like middle schooler, it wasn't all like I'm doing this super awesome thing. It's go super cool and rad, and it's not like the author was trying to like be hip with the kids and all that. Like it actually felt like a real middle schooler like wrote this diary, and like you can just immediately get like Greg Halfley's like personality just by like the first few like sentences that it starts out with, and it's just like whoa. And I've been rereading all of them, and they've been really fun to watch, or not watch, but read.
Well, really, hits me when I think about the, because I read the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books too, up to a certain point, and what really struck me remembering is that like the main character Greg, like he gets it. He gets that high school is like it,
Middle
high
school,
school or
he-
oh
he's
yeah,
in
middle school. Okay,
yeah.
middle school. Like school's important, but it's like a popularity contest. Really, he just
Exactly.
sees it for
It's
what
like
it
he
is.
treats it as his own like society. So
Yeah,
it's like a
it is.
society of kids, and like
It's a hierarchy.
exactly, and
Everybody
like
has their place.
yeah, and it just like the stuff that he goes through, the stuff he talks about, it can just be like, dang, like that's exactly what I went through when was in middle school and all that. It just really been really cool to reread them and look back on like how much like oh wow I like oh how much of it makes sense now.
Yeah.
I just wish that they would have had Greg age. He's still I'm on the like the 10th 11th book and he still is in middle school.
He got held back for like 10 years.
And all of his friends are still in middle school too, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it would have been so much better if he would have like improved on and
Diary of a
went
Wimpy Kid, but in college.
and like went to
He has
high
like a
school.
9 to
Like,
5 job. He's like 30.
like I would have wanted to know like what it's like to get like when he gets a job or when he starts high school. Like slowly maturing and stuff, and like not being through all of his 15 diaries. Like. It just the motivation to write the diaries has just been like in the later book just felt like nothing. So I don't know. I'm just hoping that like he's like the author Jeff Kenny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just hoping
Not
that
Jeff Keighley.
not Jeff Clee. We'll talk about that some other time. But like, I'm just hoping that he either stops it entirely or just like actually have Greg improve as a person because he's still a little twerp at like the later books, and you're just like, are you kidding me? This kid has written 12 diaries and he's not improved on himself at all. Yeah, so frustrating. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. What about you? Have you been? Wait, no. You talked. He talked.
You
I need to talk.
stole the show.
I stole the show. Yeah.
So steal it again. What have you been doing? Skyward Sword?
But yeah, I've been playing more Skyward Sword, and it's okay. So this is literally yesterday. I'm playing it, and Jason's just like, how much of an improvement is it actually? So we have the Wii hooked up to our CRT, and
For context, he's playing the HD version.
yeah, I'm playing the HD version, and like. I don't know. Just the Wii version just looks so much more fun to play. Cause like there's like I think I talked about this last time. There's like a certain delay when you swing the Joy-Con and like it just like the Link swings his sword so much slower and like before in the Wii version you could just like wiggle the remote everywhere and like Link would just be slashing his sword everywhere and the combat just felt so fast paced and so good and now it just like it slowed down a lot more and it's just not as fun. And, I don't know. There's just something about the Wii, like the Wii's charm that just makes that game so much better. And like the Joy-Con is much like harder to grip like than the Wii remote as like a sword.
It's wider.
Right? It's wider
And shorter.
Swinging it just feels unnatural. But when you with the Wii remote, you're like, it feels like I could be holding like a sword handle, And yeah, so. Not worth $60. I'm glad I didn't pay $60 for it so far, but hey, it's been good nostalgia.
What about let's throw in some music too.
Yeah, music. I've been
yeah, I guess you can start.
I don't have a lot.
You don't have to list everything, but like some standouts. Like...
Standout White Noise Owl, I will say.
Good.
Yeah, like I've been re-listening to that album again. Wait, what's the album called again?
Condition Critical.
Yeah, I've been re-listening to it again, and it's just been like. I mean, it's not like an emotional level as you have it, but I mean, like I can feel it though. Like I can feel that like it has like a certain power to it that I love so much.
It's
and like
very good. On some days it's my favorite album, depending on my mood and if I'm actually listening to it. Because whatever you're listening to is your favorite album. If it's good enough for me at least.
I'll list two more. Megadeth Risk. I mean, I've listened to all of like the 4 Megadeth albums, but this one stood out to me a lot.
Well, the 4 that I have.
Oh yeah, the 4 that you have.
In like
But
some
Risk,
random order.
but Risk,
release
like,
date.
I mean, the first song, what was it?
Insomnia.
Insomnia. It's like, I mean, like, there were times where I just like paused it and just rewinded to the beginning because the beginning is so good. It's just like, I mean, and I love that album. It's like, I mean, it's just so funny how friggin' Megadeth picked up the Metallica slack.
Yeah, as
in
soon
the
as
metal.
Metallica started getting bad, they started getting good. In my
Yeah,
opinion, at
and,
least.
It's just been freaking fantastic, and I've been loving listening to it a lot. There's another one. There's one more I wanted. Oh frick, what was it? Oh yeah, well, wait, Roses and Violets by Trocadero.
Alright, I forgot his name. I just called it the RPB soundtrack.
That would be so. That's what everyone calls it, but I call it by its proper name because
proper Trocadero
to
fans
me,
call it Roses and Violets.
because to me, that's what it feels like. It's a Trocadero album, not a Red versus Blue soundtrack.
Yeah, it's kind of like if it feels like RVB licensed the music for the soundtrack, but they were
You're
released
right.
alongside each other, and
And
it's unique, I guess.
I gotta say, it's been my second favorite album, right underneath Ride the Lightning. It is just like the atmosphere that it just like gives out is something
Side
else.
note, in my head, I call the album "Ride the Lightning" "Creeping Death" because I feel like that should be the title track for some reason.
It'd be a good one, I'd say.
Like
if
I
it
almost say to people, I like the album "Creeping Death," but this is like, oh wait.
yeah, but like that album, I mean, it's just like it just brings you back to like the 2000s. Like it just feels like such a 2000s like album that like this like small band would make, and like how it like has this like kind of sort of like westerny feel to it, you know, with
It's
like
like
the
Western
raw
indie
guitars.
pop rock.
It's something else, and like the lyrics are so like lyrics are just like
Minimalistic,
but they're good. I mean, you
Like,
pay
he just-
attention to them.
and they just write what they need. Like I hate. There's a song in their second album, "Ghosts That Linger," that it's like a minute and a half, and it's just like, no, don't stop, keep going. This is too good.
I know, but wait, never mind. I was gonna say some of the lyrics, but I completely forgot them. But yeah, those are some stuff I've been listening. I've been listening to a lot more stuff, but those are just some off the top of my head that I decided to share with you guys. So that's been really fun.
What about
Yeah.
you, Eli?
Yeah.
Anything you want to share?
I've been listening to some REM. I kind of forgot how much I love them.
I don't think I've heard of them.
Okay, yeah. Good band. Check them out.
I'll add them to the list.
Oh wait, I did
Of
listen.
good
I
bands
did
to
listen
check
to
out.
Sublime, the one where they was like tattooed on the back. Which
Yeah,
one's that?
Oh, is
Sounds-
that the third one?
I think so. I listened.
Is it just
Yeah,
a self-titled
self-titled.
one?
Yeah, it is.
That's
And
the one everyone knows them for.
that one was,
That was pretty good.
It was just like kind of. It just made me feel like you're a different person, you know, like
Because
I
it's drugs. They're all,
exactly
it's all the drugs.
like
Yeah.
drugs in the hood, you know, and like I felt like one of those people, you know.
Oh.
Weird.
I was kind of obsessed with the song what's it called?
I have the CD.
Santeria, that's what it's called.
Oop.
And there was a point where like it was just a restless night, and I was up till like 3 a.m. I just could not sleep, so I just threw on some music,
Oh, Pawn Shop. That's a good one.
and I listened to Santeria, and I thought like in my 3 o'clock restless days, I thought it was like the most beautiful thing ever. Like I thought his voice was just so beautiful.
I really want.
The other songs are pretty good.
I really want to check out. They really after. Is it Bradley Noel or Newell? The singer. After singer died, they released acoustic sessions, like live acoustic recordings. I want to check that out. I don't have that one yet though, and it's not on like. I don't think it's on streaming services. But yeah. So REM. Anything else?
Just want to say I've been listening to their songs. Or my favorites are All the Right Friends, Bad Day, and Man on the Moon.
Yeah, I don't recognize like any of those. Um, let's see. I did a bit today at work because my Bluetooth headphones finally started working again. Earbuds. Um, listened to Dio's Master of the Moon again. Great album. Um, he fell off in the 90s and came back in the 2000s, I think. Um, dare I say better than ever?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think the last time Dio got good was Killing the Dragon. Like, what was that one called?
Killing the Dragon.
Yeah, okay, Killing the Dragon. I wasn't. It's been so long since
Master
I
of the
listened
Moon
to
is
that one.
sick though. Like Craig Goldie can't make a bad guitar riff, in my opinion. Man, now I'm blanking. What else? Oh yeah, Dragon Force's Ultra Beatdown is freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're one of my favorite bands just because even if I'm not a big fan of the song, it's still impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they do is impressive. Except like their
Dragon
slow.
Force Ultra Beatdown.
Is yeah.
Is that the name of the band or a song?
Right here. Here's the disc.
Oh, that's the one I still need to listen to, actually. Like
Wow.
I thought you were talking about
It has cool
Rampage.
cover art. Look at
Oh
that.
yeah, it's very nice.
That's pretty sick. For the listeners,
Well, I can throw a picture on there.
okay.
Well, yeah, because this is going on YouTube, so
Okay.
there is a video. It's technically not a podcast. I just call it that.
If you choose the right one, then I just want to say I want to marry her.
Yeah, you see, Dragon Force is like when you listen to one of the albums like straight, it's like okay, like you get tired of it. Like, cause
No.
to me, I get tired of the albums like listening to them fully straight. But when I listen to them individually, like in a shuffle playlist, like they're very, very good. I don't know why.
One band that I think is, I guess, group, because he kind of went almost so. It was like a Dio situation where like Dio is a band, but it's mostly about the guy. Dokken is like a band, but it's mostly about the guy Dokken. Because like after the original lineup broke up, they never got back together. But I think even after the lineup broke up, they were still great. Like I listened to the first one, the second one after that lineup, Long Way Home, and it's still very good. But no one talks about like the first 5 is all people talk about. It's a shame. All right, so that was a bit longer than normal.
I'm dozing off right now.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid rant.
Yeah. Hey, that's what big podcast is all about. You just talk
Hey, he's
about things.
passionate, dude.
Yeah.
He's passionate about
let him
Diary
talk
of
his
a
heart out.
Exactly.
I'm
Thank you.
joking, I don't actually care. This can go on for as long as we need
For
it
the
to.
listeners at home, he's crossing his fingers when he said he was joking.
Uh-huh. All right, so main topic of today is a fun one. Bad movies. Specifically, the worst movies we individually... the worst movies we have seen individually. Because, everyone has their own opinions, and some might think that the Sonic movie is bad, but it is not. That's actually objectively true.
Sonic movie 2, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we can each kind of do one and then move on to the next person until we run out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll just go in order, I guess. I can start. It was hard to come up with. It was hard to come up with 2. So this one's not really like one of my least favorite movies. I guess it is because I haven't seen that many bad movies, to be honest. And if I do, I forget them because they were bad. But this one stuck out to me with how just boring and bland and average it was, and that was It Chapter 2. Can you tell I'm tired right now? It was too long. It was boring, and it was not. It was scarier than the first one, but it was still super tame. It was like the definition of
It's like popcorn horror.
right. The definition of popcorn horror is It Chapter 2. If it was only like an hour and a half, then it would be like quintessential popcorn horror. Because yeah, it's just like nothing even really happens till like 30 minutes into the movie where they're in the Chinese restaurant. And that's just funny because you know as a viewer that it's fake. So you can just imagine the people outside of the room hearing them like screaming and like running around like throwing things. And they do kind of make a joke about it when like the server comes in, but then they all just walk out and act like nothing happened.
Bill Hader screams at a kid though.
He does. I forgot about that.
Have you guys seen any of Bill Hader's
No.
stuff? I love him. He's
All I know is that he
fantastic.
looks like RGT85.
I don't know what that is.
He's a YouTuber.
Okay.
Part of the Spawncast, which is a great podcast that's better than ours. Go check it out.
All right.
Please do.
So I guess that's really all I have to say because it's boring. The special effects are not as laughably bad as the first movie.
That is true.
But that's the thing. That makes it more boring. There's
Yeah.
nothing to laugh at.
Parts I found funny, like as in like it didn't scare me. It was kind of
Unintentionally
just like,
funny, yeah.
unintentionally, yeah. The Pennywise the clown kind of targets this one kid, and the main character, I forget the character's name,
Like
the,
Tim or Jeff or something
yeah,
normal.
James McAvoy's character is trying to protect this kid from Pennywise, and the kid is an idiot, so he like runs into like a hall of mirrors.
He runs to all the mirrors.
And
Yeah.
James McAvoy gets trapped, and he's just forced to watch Pennywise taunt and eventually kill this kid. And he makes all these goofy faces trying to break through the mirror to try to eat this kid.
You mean to save him from getting eaten?
No, that
Oh wait.
Pennywise is breaking.
Oh yeah, I
through,
remember because he's
yeah.
like headbanging the mirror, right?
Pennywise is
And he's
headbanging
just
the
doing
mirror
like
to try to
goofy
get
little
to,
faces, like ooh.
exaggerated like faces.
I think it's funny when they do like, slight spoilers for anyone who doesn't know the source material, but like Pennywise is a shapeshifter, so whenever they do any shapeshifting, it looks so funny. Like when he does this classic like large mouth move to eat someone's head off, it's funny. When he in the first movie, the funniest scene and why it will stand to this day that it's a comedy and not a horror movie, when he comes out of the projector, it's hilarious. And in this movie, when it's like the final battle and he just starts growing big and he grows a bunch of limbs and he's just like stomping around all awkwardly, like he doesn't look coordinated. He looks drunk. Like his animation it makes him look drunk, and it's just like, this looks stupid. Why is this in like why is this in this movie? Like, who thought special effects or like CGI I should say were good for horror? Like, we watched we mentioned on the podcast, but we watched Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time, and like that
with me.
Yes, with you. And that technically looked less realistic, like the special effects, but it was scarier that way. I think the uncanny way that practical effects can look actually adds to the horror, but like when it's CGI and it goes a bit too uncanny, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah, chapter 2.
I'll disagree and say like that part in Nightmare on Elm Street where the girl is lifted from the bed and just flying around the ceiling, that looks so good. That still looks good to this day.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I thought you were saying...
I'm saying, but like, you can tell it's practical effects. You can tell, like, it's, like, strings, and you can tell that it's a doll, but at the same time, you can't. They did it so well that it's like, your brain is just like, this can't happen, this is fake, but you're looking at it and just like, what do you mean? It's happening, it's not fake. It's like, but then Pennywise comes in, he's like, hey little Johnny, hey. And then he just like does some like weird, he just grows larger, but it's like he just stretches, and it's not, that's a moment where your brain's telling you it's not real, and so is your conscience, you know? Maybe I explained that terribly. I probably did.
I think we get what you mean.
All right,
it's just the CGI does not fool your brain to think it's real.
Right, but the practical effects do, I guess.
Yeah.
More so. If they're done right, I should also add. Because CGI can be done right. I just haven't seen it in a horror movie. Granted, I've only seen like 5 horror movies, but still. So that's one of my 2 picks. I know you guys have more than me, so I'll let you guys talk for a bit.
Okay. My pick is the E.T. knockoff. It's called Mac and Me.
Oh my gosh! No!
No way.
No way!
Dude, I've been wanting to watch that for so long.
I've watched so many clips. I might as well have watched it.
Sorry, I'll let you describe it.
Yeah, okay, so you guys have not seen E.T., right?
Right.
We have
Okay. Okay, so
We're
it's
losers.
basically just like kid. It's
Yeah, I
one
get
of
the
those scenarios.
premise.
Well, I'm trying to.
Okay. Okay.
Kid finds it's the premise where a kid finds like an alien or a robot. It's like an iron giant. He's trying to like hide it from his mom, and it's same thing for Mac and Me, but it's just so goofy.
And it's a McDonald's ad.
It's McDonald's, sponsor, so that should say something. The alien's so ugly, right? E.T.'s ugly, but it's more like E.T.'s more like articulate, and Mac is like just like a rubber suit.
It's so gross. Like I look at him and I just want to look away.
The effects are gross. And like so bad.
And like when he drinks like the cola and stuff, like it is
I
like,
remember
so
that scene. I've seen
unnatural
that
and
scene, yeah.
gross, and I just want to look away.
Like, isn't the mold? I'm not even gonna call it a puppet. Is more like a walking mold,
Yeah.
like plastic mold, not like the
Right.
gross thing that grows. Anyway, like his isn't his mouth just in a permanent O shape?
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
always just pogging out.
It's so good. And like the scene where they had like go to like the McDonald's like birthday party and like
It's like a music video.
yeah, it's like this music video, like everyone, there's like 100 people there in this like big McDonald's restaurant, and it's just like, are you kidding me? It's just like the most unrealistic thing I've ever seen in my life.
Every time I think of shameless McDonald's ads, I just think of the JonTron like mock drug PSA.
Oh wait.
He did the drug PSA. Excuse me. He did the drug PSA video.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
he
he
just
did.
mocked the Michael Jordan McDonald's one.
Yes.
It's like,
I love
it
that
was just
one.
like, he kept calling it McDonald's.
McDonald's.
The McDonald's. I always think of that when it's like shameless ripoff of McDonald's.
You know.
I don't know.
But a couple more things I want to say about it. It is one of those kind of unintentionally funny movies because the main kid is like he's wheelchair bound. And there's the point where he accidentally falls.
Yeah, he falls in the
over
river. He falls in the river,
He
right?
falls over the side of a cliff
Yes!
into the river.
Yeah, because that's how Mac meets him, right?
Yeah.
Because he saves him from the river. Yeah.
And then it's towards the end of the movie. I think like most of the kid's family knows, and they're trying to protect the alien. Like Mac comes and his family comes. His family like runs away from their car where they're trying to hide them, and they just casually walk through like a gas station store or something like that. And obviously people are horrified at these disgusting suits, and they run out of the store, and like it's like connected to a gas station, and they make it blow up or something. And then the kid is like too close to the blast, so he like gets flown from his wheelchair and like gets knocked out or something.
I'm sorry.
It's so funny. And then spoilers for anybody who cares.
Don't spoil it for me, man.
They sort things out with the authorities apparently, and the aliens become like members of the United States.
Yes,
I remember that.
They do
I
like the
watched,
whole Citizens Pledge
Yeah,
thing
they're
and all
wearing like
that.
suits.
I watched like, did Brutal Moose review that? Who reviewed that?
A lot of people did.
Well,
Like,
that I would know.
frick.
I feel like that feels like a brutal. Well, someone, I can't remember who, but like I watched like one review of it.
Yeah, I
and,
think
like,
it
ever
was
since
Brutal
then,
Moose.
there's a collector's edition or special edition Blu-ray on Amazon that I've been wanting to buy, similar to how I got The Wizard. Like that's a movie where I saw like reviews and it looks so stupid, so I bought the Blu-ray. Obviously, that's what you do. Same with Super Mario Brothers.
Can't wait to watch that. Woo.
I did think of another movie, by the way. To talk
Oh,
about,
okay.
so I think we each have 3 now.
I still
I have
have
4.
2. So you guys
you
are
have-
making up for me.
What? I had two come. I had one coming into this actually. So, anything else you have to say?
They drink Coke, and that's about it.
That's their life source. That's the aliens' life source. Like they need the coke.
Yeah,
to live.
they're when they're on their planet, they
Subtle
drink like
product placement.
they like
Subtle.
place like a straw contraption in like the Earth to find, or not Earth, their planet to find like water, stuff underneath the ground. And here, yeah, they just resort to drinking Coca-Cola or Pepsi or something.
So freaking gross. I hate that so much. No, I had to say.
I think so.
Okay. One of my least favorites of all time. I don't know which one to start out with. How about start with Crimes of Harry Potter Crimes of Grindelwald.
I love every time you talk about this movie. It's so
you
fun.
see, because like, what was the first one called? I'm going blank.
Just Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah,
and Where to Find-
Fantastic.
And
that
then
was
they made
such
that
like a really. It was a nice film. Like it was like I don't know. It's just a nice film. You know, like you got to experience more of like the Harry Potter, like
The extended lore.
the extended.
Like
lore,
I loved
exactly.
how they were in America, because then you got to see like the small differences, like how
You
they
got to
call
see more-
instead of calling them like normal people muggles, they call them no mages for no magic people.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like that makes more sense, but somehow it sounds stupider because it's American. Like to me, American phrases
it
make
does
more
sound-
sense, but they sound stupid.
Sure. Yeah.
yeah, and
But then British is the opposite. They make less sense, but they sound kind of normal. Maybe because they invented
Right.
the language. I don't know.
and like you get to learn more about like the different kind of creatures and all super cool like like the briefcase and everything, like all of that is just super like cool and imaginative, and I would have loved that movie as a kid. I think like it was very good. I would watch it again, but the sequel
Crimes
it
of
just-
Grindelwald.
It's a crime of itself to like have that movie exist. It's like so freaking boring. It's the first movie where I've ever fallen asleep in, I think. When not just like a good like 5 minutes, like, oh, I'm falling asleep, and you're like, no, like good 30 minutes. And like I was in the point where like I knew I was falling asleep. I was like, yeah, I can just keep sleeping. I don't care. It was just like so baffling, confusing. Like it was one of those movies where you're watching just like nothing makes sense. None of the characters were the same. They didn't act the same as they did in the other movie. They just like
They
everything just
retconned the pretty nice ending from the first movie
Oh
too.
my gosh, yeah, because like the guy's memory.
Well, the spoilers.
Oh frick, spoilers. You put a warning or whatever. Yeah, because
No. I'm not editing that
spoilers.
much.
The guy's memory gets back, and you're just like it was a really nice ending from the first one, and then they just like brought it back, and they're like, oh, funny fat American guys, fat and funny, and it's just
Is it still set in America, or do they
I
go
think
to the?
it's still. I can't
don't-
remember. I can't remember.
I remember nothing.
Exactly, and I'm trying so hard to remember things. I can remember a good bunch of the a Fantastic Beasts, but I cannot remember anything from this. I know I fell asleep 30 minutes of it. It was like a 2.5 hour long movie. It was way too long for its own good. And
That's
Almost as long as
interesting.
it chapter.
That's interesting because like the Harry Potter movies, those have a reasons to be long because the books are pretty long themselves. So this is like fresh, right?
It's an original.
Yeah, original story.
yeah, it's like it was just one of those movies where after I was done watching it, like because we watched it as a family, I remember, and I know I fell asleep and our mom fell asleep, which was normal. But afterwards, we were always like, "What do we talk about?"
I
Like
think,
we were all talking about how confusing it was.
I think our sister, who is the big Harry Potter fan in the
Nerd.
family. Okay, fine. The big Harry Potter nerd in the family. I think she thought it was okay. Like she had the highest rating out of all of us. I thought it was decent from what I remember. I more clear to remember what I thought about after the movie than anything in the actual movie. If that like I remember thinking it was okay, and then hearing you talk about it like by ourselves after everyone else left. Because we keep our opinions a little bit more tame around our family because we don't want to go into long arguments with them. But you were just going ham on the movie.
I can't remember what I said. I remember
you did months later because like I remember once I asked you like, what's like your least favorite movie, and I forgot about because I keep forgetting this is your least favorite movie because I forget it's a movie myself.
Yeah.
And you just like Crimes of Grindelwald. Like, oh, I'm sorry I brought it up.
I sometimes I remember seeing it in like the movie theater, like the big giant like cardboard poster. And I'm just like, no. No. I just got offended by looking at it, and when a movie does that to you, that's when you know it just sucks so much. But yeah, that's my Crimes of Grindelwald rant. I want to watch it again to remember, like to at least pay attention to it this time. Maybe I missed some things. I don't know. I mean, there's a reason why no one's talking about it anymore.
Are they even making a third one still?
Hope
I know they
not.
were going
so.
to.
They were Johnny Depp's in Crimes of Grindelwald, right?
I think he is Grindelwald.
Yeah, they're replacing him. I know with Mads Mikkelsen.
Well, he didn't. Oh, I touched the microphone. He didn't really do anything, so it doesn't matter. Like he just kind of sat in a carriage, like a jail carriage.
Yeah, he did. There's a freaking that's the first thing the movie opens up on. This stupid carriage, and it's just like all flying around and everything. You're just like, what is going on? I just can't imagine if someone who's never seen a Harry Potter thing in their life and they and they watch that, just like how utterly baffling, confusing. Because like if you weren't a Harry Potter fan, you watch Fantastic Beasts, you would like understand like the like the premise and the concept. And even if you watched one of like if you watched the Chamber of Secrets or Prisoner of Azkaban, like
besides like the last two, you can kind of jump in.
You can know like the pretty much like the basic of like what's going on. They explain well what happened in the previous books and movies, like so you can like get like a feel on what happened. But like Crimes of Grindelwald, just no, it's not meant for Harry Potter fans. It's not meant for newcomers. It's just there. That's all I have to say about
it. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, I thought of another movie to talk about, and so I was just thinking, there's a lot of videos I saw on YouTube about like bad movies, and those fascinate me, like, especially when they show like clips of it and they don't just talk about it, showing screenshots. When they show like clips with the full audio and stuff, and I like usually that's enough to hook me. I'm just like, okay, I want to watch this. I want to see like the badness for myself, if that makes sense. Because every time I did that, like I'd buy the movie like used somewhere or on eBay for cheap, and then I'd watch it with Micah and we'd laugh at it, move on with our lives. I'd usually sell it after that, unless there was some kind of hidden gem like Invisible Dad or something.
Invisible Dad, yes. Fun.
Like there's this one video about a movie called Druids.
How did I know you were gonna say that?
I forgot about Druids.
And I'm just like, this looks funny, because of course in the video it's funny.
Yeah.
This is when I realized that I shouldn't just buy every movie that a YouTuber talks about, even though because they will present it funny, but this movie is like, I don't even know, because it's I think it's the most boring movie I've ever watched, to the point where I didn't finish it. We didn't finish it. Yeah, because I was watching with you. It was just boring, bland. It was like
the actors were horrible. Like they're all boring.
Like, so like Dragonheart doesn't have a good reputation, right? This feels like a ripoff of that.
It does feel like a ripoff of Dragonheart,
which is really, really weird to say, because Dragonheart feels like it's ripping off something else already.
Right.
So it's like a double ripoff, and it's just like the only thing I remember is that every woman like showed her boobs, like every one of them.
And like
there's even a scene where like to distract some soldiers, some of the townswoman went on the wall of the town and just started flashing the soldiers, and they were all just like,
well, I before you get into that, I think you should, for me to describe what Druids is.
Or I should. Druids
You just
is
immediately went to the boobs.
well, because that's the only thing that
That's the only
this
thing I
movie
It's
has-
the
remember
only
from
thing you
it.
retain.
The only thing this movie has going for it, if you're into that sort of thing. The Druids is a movie about a guy. It's set in a medieval fantasy world. And actually, I don't even know if it's fantasy. I don't remember. That's as much as I remember. What happened? What was their goal?
I just remember like some druids were like important.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
is
some
there
like
some prophecy
okay. Now
or
I kind
something?
of some things are coming back. I remember the opening was like 20 minutes of the Druids, like the. I guess it is fantasy because they know like magic and crap. They
Are
just
druids
talk.
like wizards?
I think. I don't know much
They're
about
just like
high
magic
fantasy,
people?
but like yeah, they don't do any magic, but they're like chanting and they're in like wizard robes, so they look like magic people. They just talk, and this new dude is supposed to like, be asking the questions to give you exposition, but the exposition makes no sense. Um, and it's just boring, and then it cuts to this different character who's the main character, and he's boring.
Forehead. He had a really big forehead. That's all I remember from him.
But yeah, this was like the only movie that I bought after a YouTuber review that I didn't like. Because normally I buy them and they're still fun to laugh at.
Right.
There's still some redeeming, but this one wasn't funny at all. But after like 5 minutes, we even stopped making like sarcastic comments to each other.
We were just so dead, and we were just like finally, like I
Like,
we were
I remember I paused it once because I'm like, I want to see how much longer is left.
And like, sure, we have 20 minutes left of the movie. We can finish it through.
Dude, that movie is like 2.5 hours.
It was so. We
Oh
only
my
got like an hour. We were like a quarter of the way
It
done.
was one of those where I was legitimately in disbelief that we had only watched half of the movie. I'm just like, no way, there is more
It
that
felt like we were
happens after
kept
this.
going up to the climax of the movie, but like, nope, it's just a quarter of the way done.
It's just an excuse for women to show their breasts.
Yeah, and so like that's when we're like, okay, we need to stop. We need to
It was.
save
I
our
think
time.
it was sapping life, like years off my life. It was killing my brain cells. No matter it, like all the sugar and soda we had, like that day did nothing to keep me awake. I was just like dying. It was like the only movie that almost killed me, I think.
Wow.
But it's still not the worst movie I've ever seen. So, I will. I'm done with Druids. Then I don't want to think about it anymore. Although I will say that Preplayed some reason took it off of my hands. So thank you to them. I no longer own it. I never will again. So there you go.
Alright. Going on to my number 2 is a movie. I forget when it comes out or when it came out, but it's not.
It comes out tomorrow.
Yeah. It's called Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. It has everybody's favorite Tom Hanks in it. As man, he's more of like a supporting character. He's a father with a kid, and they do like puzzles and stuff together. Or not puzzles, but like games where the kid has to solve like they do like little scavenger quests and stuff like that. Like he play those Tom Hanks will play those kind of games with his son, and he just wants the son to be smart, and you realize that Tom Hanks his character worked at the one of the Twin Towers, and it turns into a post 9/11 sort of grief story. And this kid is like, they established that he was very close to his dad, and they played these games. And there's one last scavenger that they didn't do that the kid was having trouble with, and he never finished it because Tom Hanks died. And
Good.
whoa, he's like the thing that makes me hate this movie is that the kid is so unlikable. He's just a jerk to everybody. He's so just annoying, and any like goodness that comes from that relationship, the father-son relationship, is just lost in any like sentimentality is just lost from how annoying this kid is. Like it's not the actor. The actor is fine, but just the way the kid is written, he's like just mocking everybody and just being just a complete jerk. I didn't even finish the movie. I don't know if that counts technically.
It does.
It does, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Well,
but
because like that's if you finished a movie. I mean, if you don't finish a movie, that's kind of saying like, it's not worth my time, and that's saying
I
that
guess
it's
so.
bad. As long as you get maybe halfway through, I'd say.
yeah, it was definitely more than halfway by the time I turned it off. But there is a shot of the movie where it shows Tom Hanks' character. It's completely CGI Tom Hanks, POV looking up, falling like out of the towers. Like his character was one of the people that jumped out of the towers when the plane crashed into it. It's so in like bad taste. It's just so horrible. That's the word I have for it. Unlikable. Yeah, any sentimentality or goodwill is lost from just the annoying kid. And I think that's all I have to say about it. Yeah. Just untasteful.
You need to show me that CGI Tom Hanks clip. That sounds interesting.
I think I tried to look for it. I don't think it's on YouTube.
Ooh.
I know. But I think that's it for me.
All right,
So,
Micah. How many? You have like a lot more than us, right?
I had one in here, but I don't think it is. I guess
Well, I mean, you
I
can
should
do-
probably, I should maybe be close to the microphone.
You can do two, if you want.
No, I only have one more. The other one I had just I looked at it, and it just doesn't deserve the bad movie spot. So, I think my last one's going to be
Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't know you were done with your list.
Okay, I guess I am done with my list.
Okay.
So no, I mean this is my last one. Star Wars: The Last One. I forgot his name.
It's a better name than
The
the actual,
Last One.
the Rise of Skywalker.
Rise
or
of-
the last.
That's
No,
what.
'cause it always confuses me because I think the Last Jedi is the last one because it's called the Last Jedi.
Yeah, you'd think they put the last.
But it's the
for
Rise of
last
Skywalker. The last movie is called The Rise of, but the one before is called The Last of, and it's like, what?
This movie is a insult to every single Star Wars fan that was ever conceived on this earth. It is a big fat middle finger to the whole fan base. And like I know that like weird like stuff happened behind the scenes, like switching directors and everything and all that, but I don't think that excuse for ruining one of the most beloved franchises on this planet. Like the sheer like we saw it in theaters with the family. Unfortunately, yeah, and like watching it, I just felt my brain cell just go into mush and just being like, I used to be a proud Star Wars fan once. I used to be proud of it.
Oh, and
After seeing
Man.
this, I just like, well, that's it. Not anymore. Not anymore. I'm proud to be part of this fan base. Not anymore. And it was just like so many things. I mean, there's just one guy, one YouTuber who did like a 2-hour long review of this movie, just piece by piece, just tearing it to shreds.
Good.
And yeah, good. It was a really good video. I should show you it sometime. It's like very entertaining. And it just like after watching that, I'm just like, how did they screw up this badly? The only good thing that came out of it was the Disney ride. The what was it called?
Oh, Rise of the Resistance
Rise
is
of
a
that
masterpiece
is
of.
freaking awesome. Like I love that ride so much.
I mean, that's not even. That's the sequel trilogy in general.
I
Kinda.
know, I know, but the Rise of Skywalker was part of that, you know.
I guess
So,
you have to associate one good thing to this movie.
yeah,
You have to kind of stretch a bit.
I do have to stretch a bit. It's stretching quite a bit. This movie is just always bad. Every single bad. The ending was so horrible and so terrible. I wanted to die. It was one of those movies where I just
what's
wanted.
your name?
What's your
young lady?
young lady?
I'm Skywalker.
Oh, I don't even care about spoilers anymore. And like,
No,
I mean, don't watch this movie. Don't watch the movie if you've never heard of Star Wars. Don't watch the movie if you are a Star Wars fan. I'm just gonna freaking spoil everything for you guys. Like at the end when they give Chewie the freaking medal, cause he didn't get one in the first one. It's just like that stupid stuff. Just like, funny joke, and I don't know why. It just bothered me so much. All the characters weren't the same. Again, like they changed all the characters. None of them. They just felt like no motivation. Just like suddenly does the Emperor just like, oh yeah, by the way, I have all of these Star Destroyers for no reason. Here's my whole army. Go ahead and conquer the galaxy. Like what?
I think that'd be funny if you voice the Emperor and you just use that.
Yeah, you know, go kill the Jedi. And then you have like Rey fighting her like opposite dark shelf, like Shadow the Hedgehog, like as like fight with like the stupid double lightsaber and all that.
It smiles at her and there's like bangs and stuff.
Like it was just like, yeah, and they had like the whole like Death Star like in ruins, and like it was cool at first, but then they're like,
It was cool in the trailers.
yeah, that's it. It was a trailer shot. The whole thing was a trailer shot. Then once she goes in it, she confronts her like counterfeit self or whatever, her like dark side. So because she's going to the dark side, and the whole movie's trying to like hint that she's going to the dark side, and you're like, is she gonna go to the dark side? And it's just like she confronts her, and then nothing happens. Like that whole scene was just pointless. Like nothing came out of it. Like there's some scenes I did like when like Kylo Ren was when Han Solo like kind of like appeared to him, and he was like having like that talk with him.
Yeah, that was surprisingly like
I don't remember that.
really good for the movie.
Exactly,
Like, that's
and
a
like
standout scene.
you see,
definitely.
Kylo Ren, I always thought like we're just like, oh, he's just like the emo kid, you know, like he doesn't deserve to, replace Darth Vader. But then like that's kind of the whole point that I realized when watching the new trilogy. Like he doesn't, like he's trying really hard and stuff like that. To replace that figure, and like he's just, I think like he kind of grew on me after a while. I will admit, just a little bit. Like he actually grew on me, and then like, I don't know. I can't even remember what happens to him at the end.
He died.
I can't remember that.
Wait, he did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
did he?
I don't
He
remember.
faded away.
I
like
don't
a force
remember
ghost.
that.
See, like, I had these, when I was watching the movie, the theater I was in, there was these giggling girls next to us, or my family, and, like the whole, like, internet culture of, like, Reylo, I think what it is, the people that wanted to ship Kylo Ren and Rey,
I don't know.
and you could tell they were those people, and they kissed at the end, like, out of nowhere.
Oh,
The
God.
I
girls
think I
were
vaguely
like-
remember
I
that.
say
The
now.
girls were, like,
Very
squealing.
Oh gosh, it does. It's like, and then like
And
after
then he just stood up and started beating them up.
Redditor be like,
oh gosh, a Redditor, the fat Redditor gets up and is like, "Whoa, shut up, we're in a movie theater."
there's like a mixed breed of Twitter user and Redditor.
Actually, they're more like to be siblings than lovers.
Exactly, and like they tried to do like the whole like, oh, maybe this is father of son of daughter of like all that stuff. Like they try to like, place all these little things, and none of it mattered because apparently like Rey's parents weren't even a thing. Like they barely
Or if they
talked.
just a throwaway line.
They were throwaway. They were just like, "Oh, your parents sold
Your
you for
parents were-
drugs."
Your parents were nobody anyway.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And she's like, you can't say that about my parents.
And like, I just was they just brought back, the Emperor Palpatine for like he just appears. He appears, and they don't explain it. They don't explain it.
It's literally like a parody. Like they're just in this room that's obviously a setup room for a reveal, and then he just comes down. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the Emperor.
I am back now. Want to cover the galaxy?"
It's like like the show inspired by the Mad magazine.
Oh yeah,
That or like a South Park skit.
I
Like,
know.
I can picture it as both of them. Like I
Yeah.
in South Park, like he just come up like waddling
Yeah,
with his
just
bad
like-
animation. It's like, yeah, I'm the Emperor. And they'd be like, what are you doing here?
It's
Yeah.
more like a Family Guy.
Like it could be any.
It could be any
any sort of
adult,
it just feels like a parody.
yeah,
That's why it feels like
any-
Emperor
Palpatine, what are you doing here?
Now I'm just picturing in my head.
Peter, what's the Emperor doing here?
Oh, you look so awful in that robe.
But yeah. Anyway, once we all done, afterwards we went to the car wash. And
Remember that?
like that gave us a lot of time to talk about. And like our sisters really liked it, from what I remember. Like, I mean, one of our sisters was like really enthused about watching it the whole time. She was one of those people who were just like clapping and like cheering and all that.
Oh, I can't stand like clapping and cheering during a movie.
Dude. Did I ever tell either of you? Well, you were there. Micah was there. He remembers. I don't know if I told Eli this. When we saw The Force Awakens
Oh
and the
my
opening
gosh.
crawl came on,
Oh no.
the entire theater
What?
applauded.
No.
I like that though. Like,
No!
what?
Don't
Oh
do
my
that.
God. Okay,
That's the
fine.
worst.
I get that. I get it. Or like at the end of a movie, like Saving Private Ryan or Hacksaw Ridge, where they show like actual people, like historical
It's like,
people.
are you so deprived of Star Wars? Are you so
I just
thirsting
see-
for this very lively property? It has had games, books, comics.
Video games?
I said games. Like
Board games.
every other non-movie medium has gotten Star Wars things. Like
Yeah.
it's not like it's been dead for 20 years. Like everyone was at the time trying to make it out to be like, it wasn't that long of a gap.
It was 10 years. Yeah. Revenge of the Sith
Like I guess
came out in
being in the
2005.
being in the gaming scene, I'm way more used to franchises being dead for like 5 years. Like 5 years in between sequels, 10 years in between sequels. I'm used to that. But like people were freaking out, they were clapping. Like didn't they clap at the end too? Like everyone stood up and started clapping at the end. It's like,
they stood up and clapped.
I was literally thinking like, what theater? Where am I? What kind of group does this? Like, I've never experienced anything like this.
I don't know.
Like
I thought it was
the worst theater
I thought
experience.
it was
like,
bad.
I
like it. I like how
Like, it's
when
fine to
the
an
Force
extent.
Awakens opening crawl came, I was applauding in my head. Like I was like excited. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm seeing a Star Wars movie!" But I was internalizing.
But no, the whole theater, and I think at the time I thought it was fine because I was really young. Man, that's weird to think.
Yeah.
How young
I would have
was.
been 50.
And then I was probably like 14 or 13.
because like most of the people
That
in
was
there
Mills.
were like older people who probably saw the original in theaters. Like, so to them it was just really nice to see like.
I still don't think you should clap for an like and like the ending. Fine.
Well, like the opening.
If you
is,
like the movie, like it's a carryover from plays, you know.
Yeah.
You stand up and clap at the end because you're applauding the talent. But it's a movie theater. The
Yeah,
only person
nobody
seeing
is
that
there.
is the guy running the projector because he probably walked in by the time the credits rolled and he's seeing like, oh, they're clapping.
It'd be funny if the projectionist took like a bow while everybody's clapping.
He just like pushed the projector back, walked in front of it, and bowed.
No.
Yeah. Did they do something when Han died?
No, but I know when he appeared as
clapped
everyone.
when-
Well, that's what it was. When he appeared, everyone started clapping. I'm just like,
Oh my
where
gosh.
am? What is going
Harrison
on?
Ford is not the theater to accept your applause. Stop. Just stop it.
Oh, it was bad. I'm sorry. Going off on that rant, I just had to like. I just remembered that. I was like, ugh,
Yeah,
this is
but
so bad. Star Wars fan base in a nutshell.
our family liked it, and like our dad didn't say anything, and like he even saw like the originals in
To be
theaters.
clear, we're going back to
Yeah, back to
right.
the
Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
This is after we saw it in the car with our family.
Yeah, and so
Car wash.
yeah, and so like our dad didn't say anything, and he's like he saw the original in theaters when he was young, and like he was saying like to me like how the original was so good to him because of like how fresh it was and everything, and like how it didn't just feel like a bunch of things on strings moving, like to him like when he watched it he felt like he was actually in the world and he was super immersive. So like to him, like Star Wars is very important to him because it taught him that like movies have like evolved so much and like movies can do so much. So I was really wondering what to hear his opinions, and so once we like all got home, he asked us like, "What did you guys think of the Star Wars movie?" And we were just like, "It was awful." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, it was." I'm just like, "Finally, someone agrees with us."
Man, weren't we very vocal about it though? Well, like I think from what I remember, I can't remember which Star Wars movie it was, but one of them, because we usually sit in the back because we're the youngest in the family, so we get segregated. Um, so everyone's talking up in front about it, and then finally get to us like, "What did you guys think?" And I'm just like, "That was bad." I can't remember which. I think it was this movie.
Yeah, it was.
And like
it was, yeah.
we had like the worst opinion of anyone. We're both because we were kind of talking amongst ourselves
Yeah.
while everyone else was in the front. So we already had like a defense for our side. Where it's like this is bad and here's why.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just like, okay, I liked it anyway. It's like, man.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
It reminds me when we saw Black Widow.
Did you see that in the theater?
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
It was literally just like we were visiting our sister, so I'm just like, okay, fine, I'll see it because I'm with you, and I know you like. They see the Marvel movies because they have a friend who's obsessed with Marvel, so it's like I'm seeing it because someone's seeing it because someone wants to. But yeah, I'm just like when I'm talking to them after, I'm like, they're just like, I kind of liked it. I'm just like, it was okay. I mean, I feel like I hate saying that though because it just makes me feel like a cynic. Like everything, like every movie I talk to that one sister about is like I don't like them. I don't know. It's weird.
It's weird to think of like going back to what your dad was saying about the original Star Wars and how magical that was. Like the original Star Wars, it's not like a 70s movie anymore. It's just I think of it negatively now. It's just one piece of a franchise. It's no longer, at least that's how I think people see it as. It's just a part in a franchise, not like a revolution for the 70s. Because that movie and the effects were like amazing for the time.
I mean, I think part of it is because they like the prequels came out afterwards, which is like not like that's normal, but they marketed it and rebranded all of the movies to fit that. Like they were just like the first movie is actually the fourth one, and I think that just changed people's perspective as the next 2 and 3 generations
They
grew
did
up
that.
with it.
George Lucas even did that like before the prequels were even like starting to become a thing. He like did that even before like Empire Strikes Back, I think.
Whenever he did it, but like, my point is like the people who saw it in the theater knew it as Star Wars.
Yeah.
And as the original trilogy comes out, they knew it as the Star Wars trilogy. And then the prequels come out, and it's a generation later that's seeing this, and they're viewing it as, oh, this is the old one that they did first.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
these are the old ones, not the originals. These are the old ones. You know,
I remember
because I never thought of it. Oh, this is the original Star Wars. I was just like, oh, this is the bad old Star Wars, and because as a kid, you usually think old is bad.
I remember one like I think it was one of the last days of like third grade or something, and you were still with elementary school with me, and I walk out and suddenly you and your friend were just like, "Did you know that the fourth movie was actually made first?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" My mind was just open, and I was like,
as a kid, you're just like, well, it's the fourth one. It was
Yeah.
made like I always felt that disconnect as a kid. It was like, why is the fourth like why are the last three worse than the? Because I'm a kid. I just like pretty things. It's like
Yeah,
I
the
thought
prequels like more
the third one was
visually-
my favorite for a long time because it was edgy and it had cool CGI.
Before you think of like story and characters and stuff, like as a kid, you know, prequels are more like visually stimulating just because of
Yeah.
all the CGI.
I mean, like, it's so strange though, because nothing happens. Like the first two are just politics, like half the movie. But anyway, we got kind of derailed there. So
yeah, I expected that when if I
that's
mentioned
fine.
Star
So
Wars, yeah.
that's fine. Like, I'm not saying I have to stop, but
Right, but I mean, there's nothing else for me to say. But I mean, I know about Solo. I've seen that in theaters. I think we
to
saw
me that was
Solo.
a
I can see why that would be
maybe
the
not because
worst.
that was more of a spin-off. So
Right, so it doesn't like
it doesn't
tarnish
affect the whole
Yeah, it
franchise.
doesn't tarnish
Like,
the franchise that much. But this is like
Skywalker does.
this is like the main, like the last movie.
Yes, conclusion.
You're right,
to
the big
saga.
conclusion.
even though it already had two.
Exactly.
It had three because the first movie was standalone, and then the first third movie, episode 6, was a conclusion, and then episode 3 was also like a conclusion in its own right,
Yeah.
because it concluded that saga. Like it's just like after this, it's like how many years in the future between how many like
Luke
50
has
or
to have-
so.
Wait, Luke has to have grown up between Revenge of the Sith.
Or wait, not 50 then.
It'd be more like
so it's like 20 to 30 years in between these two
There's
movies.
no way Luke is 30 years.
I'm just
He's born like right at the end of Revenge.
never mind. I guess I
So it's
suck
more
at
like 18 years or something.
fine. It's a significant length of time between the episode 3 and
50 years
episode 4.
old.
So, episode 3 kind of just concludes that time period. And then it time jumps a bit. So like, and now they have another conclusion. It's like Star Wars keeps ending. And then there's like other media that concludes different stories too. Like, I don't know. Star Wars is weird. I don't like it anymore. Not because of that movie, but just because of their excessive content releases. Like, I remember, like, it was very recent, so it was like I found out about this show called The Bad Batch, which had been going on for a while apparently.
Oh yeah.
And just as I found out that existed, the anime came out. And then, like,
Oh.
just as the anime came out, they're just like, oh, also, we're remaking Knights of the Old Republic. And also, there's, like, 3 Star Wars games in development.
Yeah.
And also, there's, like, this new Disney Plus
There's
show that's coming
Season
out.
3 Mandalorian, Boba Fett show, and Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
There's, like, a bunch of Disney Plus shows coming out, too. And I'm just like, what? I just
I
found
feel-
about The Bad Batch.
I feel like it's
No one talked about The Bad Batch, but now suddenly there's like 50 different Star Wars things coming out. It's like, I thought Disney, like, nuked the canon to prevent this. And now they're just making more media to put the old canon back into the new canon that is also kind of the old canon still, because the movies still count. It's like,
Star Wars was
I
one
don't
of,
understand.
Star Wars was one of those franchises where it was one of the only like extremely big franchises that wasn't just like completely just like just got completely derailed by all of its media that was released.
Like, I guess I know what you mean, because, like, most of it was solid.
Right,
At
yeah.
worst. Like, there was few really bad Star Wars media. I mean, the most notable being the Christmas special at the time.
Yeah.
Like, they were pumping out like, I never read any. I've read like part of the Darth Maul book, but like I never got into the books. But Man, like the games from like the 2000s, man.
Like the games were really innocent because they were like pod racing or like
This is
like or they're just the movies but just as games or like you had like Knights of the Old Republic was like really good because it was an actual original Star Wars story.
And not only was it a very good Star Wars game, but it was like the first movie. It just changed a genre. It revolutionized and created its whole like it just created
like,
the Western RPG. It was just
exactly,
like,
and because of that, like
it's always a lot. What other licensed game just revolutionizes a genre like that?
exactly, and like that was like BioWare's plan. They're just like, we want to make RPGs more, accessible in the West. What's the most popular thing that's in the West right now? Star Wars. So let's slap the Star Wars brand in it, and we'll get our start from there. And now they're making a BioShock. I said BioShock. Break me.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
That
Mass
one.
Effect. Yeah, I still
like,
play those games.
Yeah, so like to your point, nowadays it's just like now
all
the
these...
content quality is so all over the place.
I know, because I watched because with a brother-in-law, we watched a few episodes of The Bad Batch.
Yeah, that's how I found out, because he was in the middle of he was catching up on season 2 or whatever they were on at the time.
Yeah, and it was just like
it
looked like.
It was like, so this is just trying to put Clone Wars.
Yeah, it looked like watered down
like
Clone Wars. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Which to water down an already watered down show is pretty.
Ooh, yeah, that's a topic for another day, though.
As much as we rag on the extended stuff that Disney doing with the Disney Plus show, I am kind of excited about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Just I'm not saying I'm better.
I know nothing about that show.
Like I'm not above it all. I got sucked into the Mandalorian and everything just like everybody else.
I'm not everybody else.
I'm just excited for Ewan McGregor to come back. Just like Hermit Obi-Wan. This podcast is sponsored by Disney Plus.
By Disney. Get a free trial.
Get a free trial
by typing in Disney Plus.
Also buy the NFTs. Buy the Disney Plus NFTs.
Buy the Wally NFT to support the environment.
Yeah, to support the environment. That's a good one.
All
also,
right.
this guy said a few days after they announced the NFTs, the government was is now under investigation of crypto and stuff. So they're probably gonna make it illegal sometime soon. So
I hope they do.
Yes, I want a graphics card, please.
Dude, imagine if crypto crashes. Dude,
oh my God,
you can get 30As for $100
oh
probably.
My God, dude,
there's gonna be a market flood, and at that point you can get used graphics card for nothing. It's just
dude, that'd be
dude, I'd buy 12 of them.
I would. I'd buy as many as I could.
All right, so back to bad movies.
Yeah, does anyone else have any more?
Yeah. So, crap, I forgot what I have to check the list again.
You're all out, Eli?
I'm out.
All right, well, I got one more. I thought we each had 3.
No, I told you I had 2.
Okay. Well, I think my. You ready for this?
What is it?
Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember. I forgot that was one of your worst favorite movies.
Druids is more boring. I think The Wall is just. I don't like using this phrase, but I genuinely think it's just a pretentious, self-centered look at me. This is how I suffered. It's I make music, I can make movies too. Look at the great musical storytelling. Guys, look at us, pay attention to us, please. It's just shut up. The whole movie, I'm just I wasn't saying I wasn't I wasn't thinking I wish this movie would stop. I'm just I wish Roger Waters would stop. It's just so uninteresting, uninspiring. The coolest parts, I'm just gonna talk about the good things, were the animated sequences. Cause I'm starting to realize that I like those really weird kind of somewhat grotesque like character designs and like off kilter movements and stuff like that. So like the animation was good. Like most of the segments I liked. But that was about it. Everything else, like the acting was fine. But like the music, there's like 2 good songs. The rest were just fine. And like the main song, like the one about teachers, is so dumb. Like I've heard it so many times on the radio, and seeing the video just made me more. Just made me hate it more. To be honest, it was just like there's something about I don't know what people see in that band. I do not. I can't understand it. Like I cannot comprehend how people think that's good. So
Oh, that's a pretty deep cut.
I notice how no one is saying anything.
I'm butting heads with you. I like the song is called. I'm not a huge
Teacher. Call it Teacher.
I'm not a huge Pink Floyd fan, but I do like that song. The Hey Teacher, leave them kids
I just call
alone.
it Teacher.
Oh, A Brick in the Wall, I think is what it's called.
Probably.
Brick in the Wall.
I always
part,
forget that's like the main part of the chorus, and the dumb kids start singing.
Brick in the Wall Part 2, I think is what it's called.
Part 2?
Yeah.
What's part 1?
That's why I don't like. You don't understand it. You gotta.
Yeah, you gotta
listen to the first part to understand the second part.
Yeah, maybe.
What's part 1? What is it?
It's a different thing.
It's in a different album?
No. It's the same album, just like a different.
Okay, I didn't know it was a part 2. I thought that was the only one. But like,
I get like I like the teacher, the representation of like teacher oppressing creative students, because like school is not cut out. It's important, but
I don't think it's important.
It's not cut out for everybody. Like some people are smart. There's smart people and creative people that just aren't good students and don't do good on tests.
Well, I don't know. Like, yes, I understand the message, and I'm not bashing the message. I'm just bashing the whole thing.
It is
It's
like
so
incomprehensive sometimes.
Yeah, it's also extremely confusing, and
It
it's
really
just
is
random,
like you have to be a super Pink Floyd fan to watch the movie.
which is just like then you.
Which I don't think that's bad.
In my opinion, like movies are the most mass media, like entertainment format. So like the fact that you're making a movie, your movie more for the fans than the album was for the fans, if that makes sense, that just rubs me the wrong way. Like I think like the fans should be there for the album, and then the movie should be to get people into the album. But it was the other way around. It was like it felt like the album was to get people into the movie.
Well, this is not really a mass market movie. This does kind of have a more artsy take on what a movie can be.
I like there's some things I like about it. I don't like the movie either. I think that's also one of my least favorites. But I just wanted to like merge in with your
You're gonna rebuttal me?
Well, like we can
Give me a
both
rebuttal.
say one of our worst movies ever, it together, because I just remember that's one of my least favorite movies when you brought it up. Like okay, there are some things I like about, like I like some of like the shots and like some of the messaging that are like hidden in the shots, like in the DVD menu screen it shows like him like looking at the TV in the field with like the hammers kind of from, like I don't know why, like that looks cool to me. Like
Nazi hammers.
They're just hammers,
I
in the front,
always
like,
viewed them as Nazi hammers.
But when you don't, it's like I don't. It's just this very cool looking contrast. I don't know, like something I just like about it. But everything else just sucked. Like I like the animation, yes, that was good, but like every time the character Pink was on the screen, yeah, that's what the Wikipedia article called him.
Wait, his name is Pink?
That's what they call him, like the Wikipedia article.
I hate this movie more.
and I just cringe because like he's all like, my life is so sad. I'm so depressed. Everyone doesn't understand me.
Because you don't talk.
A, he doesn't talk. B, he's a psychopath. C, his childhood wasn't that bad. Like his life wasn't that. Okay, so like as a kid, he got fun of for making a poem in class.
Well, he got more than made fun of. The teacher like berated him and mocked him in front of his whole class.
Okay, yeah, that sucks. As a kid, like, you know, like that'll be hard on you. His father died in a war. Okay, but was he close with his father? What did he like what was it? And plus his mother was very loving. Like she did what she could to take care of him, and like, so I don't know. To me, it's not like, I don't want to sound evil, but like it's not that bad. Like, you know, I mean, if her mother was like evil and like hated him and abused him, like, okay, I can like that I could get behind. But no, he had like a very loving mother who tried to take care of him. He got married, but then his wife,
Did he?
yeah,
I didn't get that at all.
but then his wife cheated on him from another
Oh,
guy.
that's what that was about!
But like, and he's all like, why would she do that? And it's just like,
Because you don't talk.
he didn't talk to her at all, didn't interact with her at all, and like, it's just.
Well, I think that's the point, is that it's telling visually she left him because he was emotionally closed off from her.
Well, that's his own fault.
Yeah, like he.
Yeah, well, he's saying
he's
that
not
it's
that,
his
like-
fault.
No, he's not.
Without saying it.
He's not saying anything.
He has no reason to.
No, he's saying things
Okay, well,
through the visuals.
Before I forget, because I know I'm going to.
You always rag on me for movies being a visual medium, and it's
No.
doing that.
No. I lost what I was going to say.
I just say that like he has like no reason to be this
Oh, yeah,
shut
yeah.
out from everyone.
I remember what I was going to say. Like, you were talking about, like, not to sound evil, but, like, it wasn't that bad. If, like, in real life, yeah, it was a pretty bad childhood, and I can see why you, like, resent that and want to, like, express your resentment. But when you're making a movie, movies are about, like, they're like exaggerating certain aspects of life to make you care about these characters that you only have an hour and a half to meet. Or this one was like, what, 2 hours? A little bit
I think
longer?
it was an hour, half hour 40.
It's somewhere in between there. Like, you only have an hour and 40 minutes to understand where this character's at when you meet him, what he's going through while you're watching the movie, and what he does at the end. But he sets it up, so when you set it up as just, it's a guy who had a lower than average childhood, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. Like, you know, somewhere that's just kind of pretty bad. In a movie sense, that's not enough. Like, it's just not enough to warrant you investing your time into caring about this character, because you're just like, okay, yeah, that happened to me too, why should I care? It's like, it's not in a relatable way, because they're presenting it in a very unrelatable way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do see that.
And it's like, so like, you see someone, so you see him go through like a hard childhood in the beginning. Like, he loses his father and he's bullied in school. That's two things that he struggles with. Yet throughout the entire movie, whether it's, I know by what Eli was saying that it's not meant to be this way, but for how I got it, the problem with being like a visual medium is that it's up to the viewer to interpret that now. As soon as you leave it up to interpretation, there's not really a definite, this is what it's supposed to see. This is what you're supposed to see. Because I saw it as he was just being vacant and like absent-minded for no reason. I saw no reason for him to just be staring at this TV. Like, they didn't give me a reason for him to be like that. Because his TV wasn't a part of his traumatic, quote-unquote, childhood that we saw. Nothing from his childhood was affecting his adult behavior.
What if
In what we saw in the movie.
like
So let me finish first. It's like he's just staring at this TV for no reason. He's ignoring everyone who's talking to him for no reason. I have no idea. I don't even know his name because they said it like once. Like, and then it's not even about him because it keeps cutting to different things that are going on in the world. Maybe. Like, I just don't understand what he's trying to tell me. And that's the thing. I'm thinking of it as Roger Waters trying to tell me something. That's what the movie feels like. It's trying. Like it feels like he's just trying to tell me something. Like, but I'm not getting anything. Because how I interpret that movie is just bad storytelling. I don't see anything beyond that. Even when you try to explain it. Okay, I guess that's my long rant on this movie.
Yeah, like I do want to go in more depth.
Go in more depth.
Well, I want to be more of a fan of Pink Floyd, and then try to understand this movie a little bit more and what Roger Waters is trying to do. So we should make a podcast about that. I'll once that happens, I'll explain why your opinion is wrong.
No, we just need a podcast where we sit down and listen to every album.
Yeah, and then watch the movie.
And then and then when we get to the wall, we watch the movie again.
And then we read all the books about Roger Waters.
And then we read the comics. We play the video games.
Pink Floyd video games.
There was going to be a Metallica video game, and it should have not been canceled.
It should have. I should have it in my hands, but I don't.
All right. So I guess final thoughts on The Wall. Confusing, self-centered, hot garbage. But I don't like using the phrase like it should never have been made, because like I say it as a joke, but I don't really mean that. Like I'm still glad this movie exists. If you like this movie, I'm glad you do. I wish I could like everything I saw, but I don't, and it's fun to talk about that stuff, honestly. So, any other comments on The Wall before we move on to our last movie?
I want this movie to be, or this video to be like the most downvoted video on your channel.
So it'd have to get at least 2 dislikes.
It turns out to get like 50,000 dislikes, and
guess what? Nobody would know because I'm the only one who can see the dislikes now.
All the Pink Floyd,
the Pink Floydians.
The Pink Floyd fans like blast you in the comments.
The Pink Floridians. Ooh.
You hear about YouTube getting rid of the dislike button? Apparently,
that's what I was making the joke. Like only I can see the dislikes. So even if all the Pink Floyd fans came and attacked me, I would know.
You see, look, YouTube is protecting the small creators.
YouTube's protecting me by showing me and only me how much of a failure I am.
So like they're still having the button. It's just that the viewer cannot see how many dislikes.
The creator can't even enable it themselves.
Stupid.
It used to be where the channel, whoever ran the channel, whether it was the creator or like a manager or someone, you could go in the channel settings and turn dislikes on and off. So you could same with comments. You can still turn comments off if you want.
Is it the same for comments that only the poster can see how many dislikes?
No, the poster, for comments, you can see the likes and dislikes. So now people are just commenting, use this as a dislike button. So you go down to the comments and press that comments dislike button to kind of act as a ghost dislike button.
The reason why this sucks so much is because it's just YouTube hiddenly trying to just protect their big brands.
Yeah.
And all that. And it's already becoming a problem because somebody released a fake trailer for Squid Game Season 2. And guess what? You couldn't see the dislikes and comments were turned off. So there's no way to see from other people if it was real or not.
Oh.
And so it already is becoming a problem. And it can get really dangerous.
When YouTube
this is gonna become YouTube kids stuff. How to win free V-Bucks. A1, turn on the gas in your parents' house. Step 2, light a match. That's a joke, but it can get into some really bad stuff, and I don't understand.
I see it as a freedom of speech kind of thing.
Oh no, the
eliminate.
Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer got a bunch of dislikes. Oh no, YouTube Rewind 2019 got a
see,
bunch of dislikes.
I think if YouTube didn't get so many dislikes in 2018 Rewind, which
was
is
it 2018?
yeah, which is
Was that-
that's the most
Was that,
disliked video ever.
Really?
What's his name?
Uh,
Will Smith.
Will Smith in
Was that
Fortnite and
2018?
Ninja. Yeah,
That was that
2018.
long?
Was that
I know
2018?
it
What?
was.
Dude, Fortnite's been.
Wow.
Fortnite is that old.
But like, I think if that video didn't get as much hate as it did, I don't think YouTube would be like thinking about this stuff.
For real, that's the most like
Oh,
disliked
It is
video
the
on
most
platform?
disliked video
Wow.
ever. Like before,
That's
Justin Bieber's baby was the most disliked video, but then the internet literally got together and was like, everyone, remove your dislikes from that video so Rewind can be the top, and that's
That
what
was
people
like
did.
one of the 3 times Reddit was useful.
That's amazing that the platform's own creators made
Not-
the most disliked.
Not even because one of the co-founders, the guy who uploaded the very first YouTube video, updated the description of that video with a huge for a YouTube description, like a huge rant about how this sucks. Like, I mean, of course, he doesn't work for the company anymore. Like, if your own co-founder is going on the very first YouTube video ever uploaded and having a long, like, 4-paragraph reasoning as to why this is harming every single person involved, even YouTube, it's like, okay, something's wrong here. This is literally just a money move. They're just like, Pepsi doesn't want dislikes on their cop ad anymore.
What was it like?
The Pepsi stops
Yeah, Pepsi
cop police
stop-
brutality.
What the frick,
Amazing.
man?
Or like, what was the most recent one? Was
I
it
don't know.
like things like Nintendo Switch Online?
Oh yeah, that
Like getting a
became-
bunch of dislikes.
That was their most disliked video, I think. Is that one direct?
That's the thing. I only know a bunch of gaming examples. Oh no, I remember a movie trailer coming out, and I think it was like all the like the Disney movies now are getting dislike hated.
Yeah.
What about that Ghostbusters trailer, the 2016 one?
Apparently, it has a lower Rotten Tomato score than the woman version.
No, I mean like the
new Ghostbusters.
the woman Ghostbuster trailer.
Yeah,
has,
that
like,
one
ton
probably got a bunch of
dislikes.
dislikes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember that.
Gosh, there's so much. Like, I know one YouTuber did like, he actually reviewed like the top 50 most disliked videos on YouTube, and then like just going to seeing all of them was just like so ugly. Like and like he said that like if YouTube Rewind wasn't on the top, he would put it on the top. But like yeah, and I'm like I was trying to think because like YouTube themselves like acknowledge it. They're like, we're sorry, we disappointed everyone. We're sorry that and all that. They apologize. They realize that they did a big oopsie. But then afterwards, behind the curtains, they're like,
Guys,
okay, guys,
guys.
this is a problem now.
what do we do? It's like, remove the dislike button. Hire this man.
Yeah, we're giving him a raise. $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Well, exactly $1 billion.
$2 quid.
The woman who runs Facebook, it just seems like
Facebook?
I mean Facebook, YouTube. The woman
Susan something
Yeah.
unpronounceable.
it just feels like somebody's mom is running YouTube.
She just goes to her kid just like, honey, is this a good idea for YouTube? And then he's like, no, mom, don't do it. She's like, my kids didn't do this. But the PR is just like, do it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is so weird
It's like,
how like
for, like every one good thing they do, like 12 bad things.
exactly
And
like
the bad things are always, one bad thing is always like on a greater scale than the good thing they do. Because like they're just like, hey, we're gonna let you we're gonna have the like copyright bots check videos before you publish them. Because before you had to publish them for the copyright
yeah.
bots to come in, but now it's a pre-check before you upload it. So now you don't have to keep uploading it, putting it public, taking it down to edit out a part, things like that.
Mhm.
They did that one good thing.
I like
And
how
then
they,
like 2 months later, there's like no more dislikes.
I like one of the things that I like that everyone hated for some reason was they moved the comments where the comments was on mobile, which is actually better because I can now look at the comments while I'm watching the video. Before you just all it was is you just saw the comment and you had to listen to the video because it's all the way at the bottom. But now since they're in the middle, I can just be like, oh, I can just read some comments while I'm watching the video. But everyone hated it for some reason.
I remember not liking it at first, but I don't care anymore.
I don't know why. It's just like
I don't know why.
It's one of those things where it's so inconsequential to my life that I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot they moved it too.
Yeah.
I actually remember not liking it at the bottom because you had to scroll through all the recommended videos first.
Yeah. And then after that, then they introduced the double ad invasion. Now there's 2 ads in one. Like
that's why you just pay for YouTube Premium.
I want to, but
this podcast is sponsored by YouTube Premium.
I remember when the freaking like Dude Perfect watching one of their videos, and they were literally sponsored by YouTube Red. Just like great, now your own
back when
platform.
It was called YouTube Red.
Yeah, back when your own platform is just sponsoring you now.
Remember when
It's
Good
so
Mythical
huge.
Morning had a YouTube Red show?
Oh my god!
Remember when Game Theory had? Okay,
he got like the freaking interview with the CEO of YouTube, like
Susan Wojcik.
yeah, like Matt Pat of all people gets to interview this woman.
I'm calling her Susan Wojcik.
Susan Wojcik. Susan Sojak. Oh yeah. And then now Linus Tech Tips is gonna be interviewing the guy who made the change to make not make Dislike showable, and so it's just like, who are these people to be like asking these questions and all that? Like he drops CPUs and makes really expensive gaming computers. What right does he have?
He built a computer for Tumad, and that was the last good
That was
Tumad
it.
video.
That was it. What right does he have to be talking about this? But wait, who do I know?
All
Who
right.
do I know?
Susan Wojcik.
What?
I just call her Susan Wojcik or
Yeah.
Susan Wozniak.
I like Wozniak a bit better.
But okay, so even though it's already the longest podcast,
Hour and 42 minutes.
Oh my gosh! What do we do?
well, that'll be cut up. We have a little thing to cut out.
I guess so. Yeah.
But that's only like a minute. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, some behind the scenes talk. Now you guys know that there's a part we cut out. You'll never know
You
what
never
it was.
know until you subscribe to our Patreon, where we do
Subscribe to our
exclusive
OnlyFans. All right.
Also, subscribe, leave a thumbs up, leave a nice comment.
Nice comment. Don't be
If you
mean,
dislike,
guys.
I just
leave a mean
realized-
comment, you will be doxxed. We will delete you.
I just
We will
realized I was
dox
like,
you.
this is the longest podcast, even though it's the second one, so it there's no standards.
There's no standard. You got a
But-
point there, yes.
Anyway, so the last movie we need to talk. No, wait.
So we
Why
are
would I keep
Yeah.
thinking Eli has another one?
No.
Why is my brain
I
dead?
don't know about you guys, but I think it's over. I think I think about
I
it.
think
It's
the whole
over.
podcast is over now.
It's over now. We're done. There's nothing else to
As
talk
soon
about.
as we became self-aware that we're on a podcast, it just ended.
We got the money from all the sponsorships. We're done.
We have like 3 sponsorships. So
Also, we're
pretty
sponsored by
separate.
Honey.
Yeah, we're sponsored by Honey.
Raid Shadow
Mr.
Legends.
Beast is sponsored by Mr. Beast.
We will be on the Mr. Beast Squid
Squid
Game.
Game, yes.
He says it's almost done, and it's going to be the craziest project yet.
He said goodbye. He said to say goodbye to your loved ones for some reason. I don't know what that means, but I'm really excited.
He also recommend you making an IOU and making out your will. And,
Yeah. I'm not sure why he said that, but
He also,
I'm really excited.
he's
Get to
also,
meet
like-
Markiplier.
He's also he also sent an email of good tombstone manufacturers and a couple good funeral homes in the area.
He sent us emails of pictures of us photoshopped in caskets. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, he was just like, "Will this be a good look for you?" And it was like, "Well, I mean, I guess when I'm dead, but I mean, I don't
Yes,
think I'll be
right.
that young."
Okay. Well,
You ever just you ever just shopping online, and you're prompted with a promo code, field, and you're just like, I
ever
don't
just
know any
wanted
promo
an
codes.
original story on a mobile game
So
with cool
So
characters
you got-
and interesting lore
you got
and
the promo code
story.
field, but
Raid Shadow Legends.
instead of looking up
Raid
all the
Shadow
promo
Legends
codes,
is a MMO
you can use
RPG.
free browser extension. Dude, we've got. Oh my gosh. I know I'm not going to, but I kind of want to edit this to where your ad is in the right channel and mine's on the left.
Just assaulting the listeners' ears
With fake ads.
sponsorship.
Okay, we're almost at the
What's-
2 hour mark.
What's the
It's fine.
Okay.
what's the thing? Loot crate. Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, that was really
every
big, like
YouTuber that-
2018. Yeah, like that was like 2018
Or
YouTube
guys,
sponsorship.
we got this loot crate here, nice solid box.
It's a high quality box.
They would always like flail the box around and like throw it on the desk like that and make a bunch of noise, and it would
And
sound
you're like,
bad in the microphone.
Oh my gosh, I got a Mario themed pacifier. I've been wanting one of these for so long. It's just like, cool.
Pacify.
Yeah. You don't
Like,
have.
there's these YouTubers that are just
one?
like, there's these YouTubers that are just like, look at all the shirts and
Captain America
figures.
And then
branded
there's,
diapers.
And then there's cold ones abusing their Instagram verification, just getting a bunch of free stuff from brands.
Well, they
Like
get from Uber. They got like a whole bunch
they got
of
a
like
crate of beauty
Assassin's
stuff.
Creed
Like they got
stuff.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, like major deluxe edition. They got like the vinyl of the soundtrack. They got a bunch of.
Razer sent them a
Didn't they get-
freaking chair. Like Razer, did they just send them a chair because he was verified on Instagram? Like,
It's like let me try.
yeah,
I'll do a Max Mofo impersonation. Like, yes, I verified on Twitter, everyone.
Boo.
Think that's bad?
I think it's good. It's like good enough. I
It's
think.
an American trying to do a hyper Australian, like middle-aged Australian dude. I think it's
I know what he sounds like.
finally green slime.
I'll impersonate Chad and be like, what does he say? I don't watch
Like-
cold ones though.
Ah!
All right, Max, what are we doing today?
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's fine.
All right,
Yeah.
Max, what are we doing? He sounds more like brash, like fat.
He does sound fat. That's the thing.
You know, it's actually been scientifically proven that like fat people like just sound different. Like your neck is like
Yeah,
so
they
like
sound slow and
yeah, and it's just like this is so weird that that's like actually like proven as a
Hey,
fact.
Chad,
Like,
Chad, what's this little character here?
what's the character?
pass me the chicken wings. KFC.
Today, as of recording this episode, today was the last day you could buy the little fella merch.
Oh, I'm so glad I did. Yes. Dude, but our
I don't know what that is.
Cucumber Joe shirt,
I have
Little
a Cucumber Joe shirt.
official one.
It's a cold ones joke. I know you don't watch them. You should, by the way.
Hmm.
They're good.
So freaking funny. And we went from like talking about YouTube
I
dislikes.
technically watched them before you because they were with the Filthy Frank stuff.
I don't even.
We don't
Even
know
before
their
they
like
started the
older
podcast.
stuff.
Dude, we watched all their like quarantine viral videos. That's how we found them.
Hmm.
Like Fiverr and like TikTok life hacks, things like that. I think they're very good, and they're starting to get back into podcast, like the interview style podcasts again, which are very interesting. Because COVID restrictions are letting people like fly to Australia again.
Yeah, like
Almost. It'll
like
be there
listening
soon.
to the Bella Delphine one was actually very like it actually was very interesting.
I watched like a few minutes of that, but I was with a friend and he don't want to watch it anymore. So I was like,
Okay,
okay.
I don't know. I thought it was very interesting.
I like the
liked it.
one. It was Swagger Souls and some other person,
Oh frick, I can't remember. But like
and they just started like.
they just talked about how much like just like rich YouTubers suck. I mean, they're completely Dawson like Rice Gums or whatever his name is, like his house, like his designer house or whatever.
That reminds me. Wasn't there? Was it Mr. Beast who did a video at Rice Gum's house?
Yeah,
once?
and, like, it was,
back
like-
before he was like rich.
Yeah, it was like back yeah, like you couldn't leave the circle or whatever. I know only like a few YouTubers who actually did that, and like right next to it was like a big pool and stuff, and so like That would have been really hard for me because like after a while he took away the tent, so like or like the umbrella.
Why do you remember all this?
And so
why are we just talking about YouTube now?
I don't know. I wanted to end this like a long time ago and have this be our personal conversations,
Yeah.
but
I'm feeling like it's the end.
I don't care.
we both do though.
I'm kidding.
So we're gonna end it here. Not embarrass ourselves any further.
I'll say thank you for inviting me on the podcast.
Oh
It was
yeah,
a fun time.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming on.
I would love to
appreciate
come
it.
back. Wink, wink.
Well,
Cool.
we've got these. We plan on doing this for at least a while. That's not very definitive. I don't want to say like we're doing this monthly in case we don't want to do it monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
that's a little
here I'll say
treat.
this: the current plan is to release them monthly.
Mm.
So
Leave
The
a
last-
little treat.
the first one got out a little late, so that's why there's not as big as a gap between these two. But the next one will be better. Anyway, before it gets actually to 2 hours, have a good day and or night and or
Evening.
no other. I guess evening. Well,
And
that's
you might not be listening at this time, but happy holidays.
oh yeah, it is.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Oh yeah, you guys.
I'm
Thanksgiving
dating this video.
Oh, you're dating and now I can't. That won't last forever, and people get taken out of the video and they watch it 12 years from now.
You guys all stay cool out there. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Stuff your turkey and ham unless you're Jewish, and then just enjoy the turkey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what those two said. I'm not good at outros, so I'll just say
Happy Hanukkah too.
Chungus.
All right.